Hey, B-Siders. This week we have, and it's not going to work. We, I have more resilience.
I'm trying to crack you so bad.
We have another great interview. We have returning guest Tucky Williams.
I love that we have returning guests now.
I
Not
know.
just one, but like multiple returning guests.
Yes.
It makes me feel really cool.
Well, it's nice to have a relationship with
Yeah.
these people because we've like David and Liam are always in communication. Ryan's been in communication. And Eric, even though he hasn't been back on the show because he's actually still busy doing stuff. He communicates here, and it's just wonderful.
Yeah.
But we have been waiting for this
Yes.
chance to do it, and you heard the episode on Dagger Kiss Enchanted Forest, and as promised,
Now we're talking to
we're
the
talking
maker.
to Tucky, and we say it in the episode, but we're going to preface this. She was feeling not good.
Yeah.
She was really
Poor woman.
sick, but she didn't suggest canceling.
And we would have.
showed up.
We
We
would have
would
moved
have
it.
absolutely rescheduled it, but she showed up, and we had a wonderful talk with her. And I'm just excited for you guys to hear again what a generous human being she is. She's just a beautiful human being. That's just all
Yeah,
we can say.
Just a lovely person.
So we're excited for you to listen. A lot of things that you can get something from
Oh,
for
yeah.
yourself.
A lot of good stuff in here.
And why don't we just get going on this?
All right, let's do it.
We're off.
Hey, B-Siders. Welcome to another episode of Bravo for the B-Side. This is Danny.
This is Jim.
And today, I'm super duper excited. You probably heard on the last episode. We are talking to Miss Tucky Williams today.
Hello, Tucky.
Hello. So happy to be here.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm super excited. I really loved Dagger Kiss, by the way.
Oh, thank you so much.
So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. Why don't we just jump into that? Because I know you're brewing with some
Yeah,
stuff.
let's go for it.
So for me, it was like girl scene, even though girl scene was kind of an homage we talked about before with to the 80s and the 80s bad dialogue and references to all those great, St. Elmo's Fire and all these great movies. This was fun in a different way.
Yeah.
Just because it was. I can't explain it any other way than that. It was a joy to watch, and admittedly, we had not been able to watch the series Dagger Kiss. So we did talk about, and we told listeners that even if they haven't, they should watch the series because it's there. But if they're diving into the movie, for myself, I found it to be, it wasn't confusing and it didn't leave me lost. It did a really good job as being like a self-contained film.
Good.
And there were a few
Good.
references that watching it's like, oh, okay, so that must have happened in the series, but it didn't like leave me wondering. But yeah, it everything about it was great. and I know Danny's got a lot of things she's bubbling to talk about. So I'll let you start with some stuff and questions and all.
Yeah. So I was wondering, so this is a completely kind of different story than your previous work. And I'm a huge fan. I mean, we're both nerds, but I'm a huge fan of, fantasy stories and swords and sorcery and stuff. And so I was kind of wondering what got you into that.
I was at a place where I didn't at that time want to make any more girl scene shows. I definitely didn't have the budget to. And this just kind of came to me out of nowhere. I guess you could call it divine inspiration. And it was a way to put something together on a really, really even lower budget than usual. And I don't know what struck me. I just got filled with it, and then I didn't know how to do it all, and then I had that idea to make it set on Earth, and so I could use the interiors on Earth. So a lot of it had to do with production and being able to do things. And then I found those two, these amazing actresses to be in it, and it was just all these great things came together and made this fantastic series and now fantastic movie.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Now, was it
I know,
planned? Because there have been a lot of series on television that have run a long stream, of seasons or shows, and then they stop. And then for several years now, it's been kind of a trend. I don't want to say trend, but it's the way it's happened, where a movie will come out to conclude what's happened. Was that a plan of yours from the start, or how did it come to the series and then doing the film?
There really wasn't a reason behind it. I just kind of wrote it, and I thought, well, it'll either come out as a TV series or a film, and I went with film because that seemed to flow better, and as opposed to chopping it up. But there wasn't a reason behind it. I just thought there should be a Dagger Kiss series and then a Dagger Kiss movie.
That works.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I had a better answer. It just seemed like, hey, I'll try this movie thing, because that was the first, time-wise, this is not the first movie I released, but it was the first feature-length film I made, and so sorry, I lost my train of thought. It's first feature film I made, and so I was like, hey, let's go for this, and so I tried it, and I was able to do it, and then of course I knew I could do it, and that led to being able to make the Girl Scene movie.
Awesome.
Yeah, I didn't know this came before the Girl Scene movie. It was
we shot it before the Girl. We shot it a long time ago, which is why it looks a lot different. But I mean, it's just a lower budget movie. I think it looks beautiful, but it's just a completely different thing. Yeah, shot it about 2 years before the Girl Scene movie was shot.
Wow. So where had it been? Because when we were gathering the information for it, of course, on Amazon, it says 2020, because that's when, they got their hands on it. Now, I remember watching the credits, though, at the end, it had 2019 copyright at the end of the credits. Yes. So this is something that we're always interested in, and I know some of our listeners have taken a curiosity on this. So what was this movie's journey from when you shot it to getting it on, I keep wanting to say Netflix, Amazon? Was it like...
Well, it was just a matter of deciding to do the Girl Scene movie. That was the right time to do that, and I said, let's put this on hold for a little bit. So we did the Girl Scene movie and did that whole thing, and that came out because that's where all the momentum was. And then after a year, then we said, okay, now we can put Dagger Kiss out.
Did that worry you at all? Having something...
What do you mean?
Well, we talked to some people who have been just their nerves would start coming unfrayed having a project sit. And a lot of times for reasons like you said, they had something else. The time is right for it. So we'll just kind of put this back. And for some of them, it's always been the worry of, I feel like it's time to put this out. But has the momentum been lost? Will it connect, kind of thing? Was there any concern like that for you when you decided, all right, now it's time?
My only concern was the actors, because I felt like a lot of actors get put in movies that never, ever come out. And so my main concern was them thinking, oh, God, did I make another movie that's never going to come out? So the guy who plays Zareth, I called him. We went out to dinner, and I was like, look, it was a year ago almost. I was like, look, this thing is ready. You can watch it right now if you want to, but it's still coming out. But, I have it. You can watch it. And he said, no, he was going to wait. But I really felt bad about that one. But everybody else, I don't know what they thought was going to happen. But I'm just glad it's out now and that they know they were in a real movie.
Right.
That's really cool.
My friend Jerry has said a lot of people do film LARPing.
Oh, yeah.
Which means they get together and shoot a movie and then it never, ever comes out. I would say that's the majority of independent films is people just get together and shoot it because that's the fun part, but nobody wants to do any post-production work. So he calls it film LARPing.
I like that.
Because it's sort of role-playing that they're making a movie.
Yeah, and then you just
so
never
and
get to
then,
see it.
you know, we were making fun of that, and then I'm going, wait, am I film LARPing because I didn't release Dagger Kiss immediately?
It's funny. I listened to the Mark Maron podcast, and he had Billy Crudup on, and a couple weeks ago, and he was so it's not just independent film, because he was talking about how many films he had starred in that he doesn't know where they are. They've never seen the light of day. Like, you know, I put in 87 days of work, and I thought I did some really good performance, and that was in 2016, and nobody even knows what I'm talking about. And
Right.
Really?
Yeah. So
I hope he was paid for it.
He was paid, but yeah, he was saying, you know,
all right.
You know, he was like, sometimes it's got to be about the paycheck, sometimes it's got to be about your work. And when you do your work and then they throw it in the trash can for whatever reason, some argument.
Oh, that's terrible.
Like one was an argument between the director and the studio, and the director still had all the power. So he's like, well, watch this.
Oh.
And he destroyed the film. Billy's like, well, I got to change my resume because no one's going to see this.
Go ahead and take
that's
that
horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's rough.
And it's probably really hard as an actor to like do a movie and then never have it see the light of day and be like, oh, I worked so hard on that. Everyone works so hard on these independent films, you know.
Yeah.
But when they don't come out, when someone's not able to finish post or figure out what to do for sound design or, you know, whatever it is that's stopping it from getting put out. You know, it's not personal to anyone who worked really hard on the film.
Right.
But it's hard not to take it personally.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think when I was just acting, I was in that position of being in a movie and didn't come out for years. Like, what are they doing? but no, I mean, sometimes post-production really does take that long, but you know, that wasn't the issue. They were just, I think these people I was working with, they were just lazy and they just want to do the fun part. But see, to me, the fun part is the post-production part. And if you don't love doing post-production, you shouldn't be making movies. So I think a lot of these dudes, these directors just want to have the fun part where they, you know, get to be the center of attention and stuff. And they don't want to have where they spend, you know, 7 hours a night in her basement every single night for 6 months because they're not the center of attention then.
Right.
And, you know, nobody gets credit for doing post-production work. That's a thing.
It's a,
you know, well, I'll say, like the editing. Nobody ever goes, oh, that movie had really good editing. You know, nobody does that. And I mean, honestly, these actors and actresses, at least half their performance is the editing. The editor has everything to do with an acting performance. I mean, it can be saved. It could definitely be ruined by what an editor does.
Yeah.
So, Lupita Nyong'o, when she won her Oscar, she thanked her editor, and I was like, oh, now that woman knows what she's doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Well, and so the thing with editing, post-production, we've talked with, like I said, a few other directors, David Keith, Redwood Massacre Annihilation, which is coming out. He would always send me DMs on Twitter just randomly, like, I can't take it. I'm so sick of looking at this. I can't. Well, because he does all the post-production, and his dream is to get a budget big enough to do the film that he wants to do and pay a production house to handle like the color correction and the frame by frame stuff. He's like, I can't stand it anymore. But he's also working under a deadline. Right. Because he, with this film and the one before it, he had a distribution deal, and he had people who were, you know, waiting, tick tock, we need the cut. Oh. Now that's kind of unusual. To my understanding, an independent film, because when you put something together, you're under your deadline when you want to push it through. You don't have somebody standing over you going, you've got 7 days, or, you know, the skies will open and hell will rain down, because we can do that. Would you ever change that? I mean, to
In
have
what?
so your post production, the stuff that you have to do. Would you ever trade that
Uh-huh.
some of that off, kind of take that off your plate
Oh well, with Girl
with
Scene
a
and
deadline
with
looming?
Dagger Kiss. Well, with the deadline looming, well, with Girl Scene and with Dagger Kiss, I mean, I was just more like post production supervisor. You know,
Okay.
the editor is the one who did all the work. So, and you know, all the visual effects and stuff. That's all Mark Holmberg. He did all that. He was just amazing. He's the one who did all that work. So
Yeah, well done, Mark.
I really
Yeah.
appreciate that. Yeah, you know,
And-
but you have to, you know, I have to be in the trenches with him, and you know, because you can't just leave someone to just be like, okay, here, finish the movie. You have to be there with him through all of it, and so yeah, so I have he did it. He gets all the credit for it.
And editing really is where all the magic happens, because without that, it's just, home movies, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand what editing is. I think they think it's cutting the movie together. And it's so much more than that. I will say, oh, this is kind of catty, but there was a performance in one of the movies you've seen that didn't exist in real life that only happened in the editing room.
Oh.
That was not the performance that was given. And I was very unhappy about that. And Mark knew it and he fixed it. And I mean, now you would just never know. The performance looks great. Like everything's great. I read, the comments online. They say they love that character. I'm like, okay, good.
Well, and that's a good point.
Yeah.
That and what you said about being in the trenches, because I know we try to follow all kinds of independent filmmakers, across the world. Especially with this time, a lot of people are making very small indie short films, kind of past the time, and they put some work into it, but you can see where an editor is only as good as the information that he has. So the director, the writer, whoever has the vision, I think it's kind of most important thing is to be able to clearly communicate that to the editor. This is what I need from this. Cutting all this together, this is the feeling or the tone or the pace. Because, an editor, and they need to be wanting to learn. I mean, we've had conversations where the people have worked with editors are like, I got it. And, they basically, they splice the reels together and it doesn't have,
Yeah.
They're not picking out like the best moments and stitching them
Right.
together to a wonderful tapestry of performance and story. It's more just, well, I got the ends glued together. We're ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing.
I don't know exactly what you're talking about. Yep. Unfortunately, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I want to talk about Daniel for a second.
Oh, Wizard in Training, Daniel.
Yes, because
oh yeah,
I love him.
Well, everyone did a great job, but we both kind of just fell in love with Daniel because he has such limited time compared to everybody else. It's these small interactions. But
he really makes the most of it.
They were so endearing, and we just kind of like chuckled the way he's able to just go on, and then we cut to some other things going on, and then a cut to another thing going on, and then we come back to Daniel, and he's still going on this diatribe, just very almost,
yeah,
just
I'll
above
tell you
monotone.
Something amazing about him is that he wasn't supposed to be in it. The day production started, this guy just said, oh, sorry, I'm in another state making a movie. And here's what he said. And it might end up on the Hallmark Channel. I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Like,
oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah, it might end up on the Hallmark Channel. Like, what? What do you think we're doing here? And so I called Tom, who plays Zareth, and I said, you have to. I mean, I was really busy. I wasn't sleeping. This was the day of production. I was like, just fix this, just fix it, please. You're the only one who can fix it. So he found Daniel, and the guy showed up the next day, and he showed up every other day. And I mean, he had no coaching on that performance at all. He wasn't prepared at all. Just was given a script immediately, and he did that with it. I was so grateful for that.
He's
Oh,
super fun.
it was. We were talking and came up with the notion that it would be kind of fun to take Daniel, wizard in training, and give him like a YouTube
Uh-huh.
channel, and just make between 1 and 2 minute videos. Daniel, wizard in training, talks about something, and then have him do just some like monologue like he was doing through the film.
Oh boy.
I would watch it.
Oh
I'd
boy.
subscribe.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
so he was
Give him some more
really
monologues about medieval torture.
Oh,
medieval
yeah.
torture. Yeah. He used to hang them with their arms up, and they would. I'm just like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's all
Daniel.
real. It's all real.
Oh,
So, one thing that I really liked about this film was, and I thought that it was a very clever thing of you to do with the limited budget that you had, melding kind of present day Earth with medieval fantasy, and having that conceit that they can come here, and that way you don't have to be filming in a forest all the time or find a castle or build these lavish medieval sets.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, that's the reason why it wasn't all set in a medieval fantasy world, was because I didn't have the means to do it. I mean, we could have shot outside all day every day, but I didn't. That's really difficult to do. And then I didn't have any interior. There's no way to build an interior. People were like, "Oh, just build an interior of a castle." I'm like, "Do you know how difficult that is? It's hard to do." So so it was good because we could do the woods during the day, and we could do earth interiors at night, and then if it rained, we could do earth interiors during the day. So the only problem is with that schedule, you're at the mercy of the gods.
right.
And every day the schedule changes depending on whether it rains or not. And there's just some kind of cosmic law that it rains every day until the last possible minute. I don't know what that is. So you're rescheduling every single day, and you have to call every single actor and be like, okay, can you switch again? Can you come in this day? Can you switch? Can you switch? And so it's a difficult thing to do, especially when you have out-of-town talent. Normally it would just be like, oh, hey, everybody's in the same place. They can either come or not come. We'll work it out. That week, somehow we'll work it out. If it doesn't work, we'll shoot the next weekend. But not when you have out-of-town talent. And then that scene in the beginning had about 20 people in it, and you can't reschedule that.
right.
You just have to pray that that it doesn't rain for that period of time. You never know what kind of weather you're going to get. We got lucky, and it was sunny, and it was the late afternoon, and it was perfect. But it's really stressful to make a movie where you're depending on the weather.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I was really active. It was actually like everybody thought Girls Scene was so difficult, and I mean, yeah, it was. But I'm going. At least you're able to control all things. And when you're doing something like Dagger Kiss, you're stuck. You're stuck with you can't control it all. Girl Scene, you can control most of it, but Dagger Kiss, no, you have no ability. And which the problem is the out of town talent coming in, and you can't. I guess you can fly people back, but some people you can't fly back. If they're really famous, they're not going to come back.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So you just gotta hope it works out.
Oh, so there was a scene in Enchanted Forest that really struck us both, and it was, and there was a couple things, and in fact, in the episode on it, I kind of go into a big aside because of it.
I'm glad you brought it up, because I was just going to bring it up to you.
Yeah, your monologue
At the end.
at the end, next to Katya's body, was superb, and not just
Oh, thank you.
in the writing, but the performance. Because one of the
Thank
things
you.
there was two things we focused on. One being the amount of emotion, and honestly, it kind of caught us by surprise, because the flow of the film was, it was fun a few moments, and then there was, what's going on, and we kind of follow the story, and you can see, you feel those moments of what I call ambient emotion. So we have two people, the world destiny seems to be bent on keeping them apart, right? And there's circumstances that they just can't control no matter how much they put into it. And you're like, oh. And we felt that. But the way you spoke through that scene and what you were talking about, just really, it was so real. It had nothing to do with the environment. Like a lot of movies, they'll set something up deliberately and then have someone talk about it in relation to, the film and the story. And you're like, oh, I get it. But a lot of times it seems contrived. This was almost like you stepped outside of everything to deliver this. And one of the things we're curious about was, one, the writing of it, putting that together. What was that like, coming up with that monologue about your dead soulmate, and what was it like shooting it for you, actually portraying it? Like, where did you go to bring that?
That's such a good question. I think I just went into the character, and I think in intense moments like that in the series, I was crying. And the funny thing is I think I always have thought that when I had to do a scene like that, I would think about something that made me really sad or something. But in those cases with this movie, it's always been about being in the scene in that moment, and just having to detach yourself from everything that's going on around you and just being the character. And when you do that, it happens. And I know that there was some, before I did it, there was like a little bit of psychological preparation. And I was just feeling the feeling of telling someone it's okay to go. And I think that was, I think that's a powerful thing, is saying, hey, it's okay for you to go. You'll be fine. That struck me as just like one of the most human things we can do is, don't worry about this. You don't have to fight this anymore. And I just wanted to tell that and to convey that emotion. And I'm so thrilled to know that it came across.
It did.
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing up that scene. It meant a lot to me.
Well, when we talked about it, because we weren't sure what went into it, but we talked about it from, there's the thing, muscle memory. Your muscles, you do it often enough, they just do the thing. And I like to call it emotional memory, where you don't have to necessarily think about the specific thing in your life that made you sad. But when we were talking about it, we were talking about how everybody has gone through something and knows what those emotions are. And, as writers, we draw on that when we're trying to put the words on paper and we're trying to craft a scene that somebody's going to make into something. Is, I'm not mimicking the loss of my grandfather or the loss of one of my friends. I'm just thinking about all the things that went through my head, and my body as dealing with that. And it's kind of a universal thing. Everyone handles moments in life differently, but I think there's a sameness, a base level that we all feel. And that's how we can identify with what someone else is showing us.
Right. Yeah. So when I had seen that scene, I thought of, because I lost my grandfather a couple years ago, actually. And I was really close with him. And after he passed away, I found myself a lot of times just kind of talking to him in quiet moments, because I would talk to him a lot. I would get advice from him a lot. And you never really forget how those emotions feel, even if you're not particularly grieving in that moment, Yeah. And so that scene, to me, I got tears.
She did.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So when you were putting that scene together, was it just natural that, okay, we're coming to this moment and, this is what's going to happen and this is how it's going to be said? Or, just kind of curious, how many drafts of that speech did you go through in your head or on paper to get it to craft the way you wanted it to?
Well, I think on paper it wasn't the same at all. So I think nobody knew what was coming. You just look at the word. There's just so much talking. So you just see a bunch of talking and da. But I don't think anybody realized what it was until I started doing it, and and then it came as a big surprise, I think. But I don't know how to answer your question. And it's just on the page it looked pretty stale. It looks pretty stale. She's just talking about her eye being messed up and stuff, and it just seems like, what? Why are you talking about yourself when your girlfriend's dead? But it weaves into something bigger, and I don't know. I don't have a good answer. I just know that that particular scene was about the performance, and I really could have been saying anything.
Okay.
It's just in that moment, the stuff you feel.
Well, it worked.
Yeah, it did.
What? So, directing and acting in something. So, a scene like this, how much do you rely on everybody else? Because usually the director is the one watching and looking for,
Right.
Is this giving me what I want and what we need? But you're doing it. Do you have someone proxying for you, or do you just roll? I mean, how do you make the decision
in this situation, I didn't.
keep going? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't have in this particular one. I had no help at all. But I didn't. It was a weird situation. I didn't have any help, so it was just me getting up there and doing it and hoping it was going to look okay. I mean, I think after the fact, if you were going to be technical about it, I was like, you better have fucking captured those tears, man. Those better show on the print, damn it. He didn't get those tears. And I did a good job with the tears, I think. I think so many. I see that a lot, that people do that, and it aggravates the hell out of me. People are trying not to cry, but if it does happen, save it, put it on there. So it was great that I started crying, and I was like, in the back of my head, I'm going, this better be showing up. But it was great. It was getting in my mouth and everything, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we're on a roll here. I mean, it's weird when you're acting. You're all in, but when you're running things too, there's also a part of you that's watching it. And so I'm going, okay, this is good. This is very good. I was just hoping there wasn't black mascara on my face, because that would kind of ruin the medieval kind of thing. You have makeup dripping down your face. But there's a little bit of that. But I was just so glad that all that came out the way it did.
Yeah.
And thank you for bringing it up. I appreciate that a lot.
Oh, you're welcome.
So
what you don't know is that Amanda was lying there in front of me, and she started sobbing. And you can't, I know, and you can't see it, but her little body was like shaking, and she was crying.
Oh.
And then, so by the time, I know, I was like, oh God, she's so sweet. And then, so by the time it was on her, the camera was on her, she was all cried out. So she wasn't crying at all if you watch it. There's nothing left in her. All the tears were gone.
Oh. Well,
yeah.
That has to be a motivator in the moment. If you're getting a real visceral reaction from somebody who's, not in shot, especially. I mean, I think that would drive, instinctively, I'm on the right course. Right. Compass set, and just roll with it.
Yeah,
get more
that's
into
a good point. Yes. I think that was a good, because the part of me is going, oh, Amanda's crying, isn't she sweet? That wants to pull you out of it. But at the same time, I think the good feedback is very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that was a good. You're right. That was a feedback that I got, definitely.
Cool.
So one thing I thought was really interesting thematically about this story is that you play with the concepts of good and evil, and you don't draw a straight, here's the line, of between good and evil, and that your hero character, Arden, her magical power is actually very dark. It's
Yeah.
it doesn't, it doesn't sound like a power that does a lot of good in the world. And then
No.
your Lighteners, they have a power that could, classically be classified as a good power. They have the power to bring back life. And so I was just
Yeah.
kind of wondering, what inspired you to take those concepts and just kind of twist them around like that?
Yeah, it was one of those things that happened. It just came to me. There was no reason for it, but I just thought it would be cool to have it switched around, that the bad guys were the good guys and the good guys were the bad guys. And then I think you can tell in the movie version anyway, at least for a character like Jenna, that she's someone who is technically a bad guy, but it becomes very clear in that movie that for her she's the good person, that
Right.
she hasn't done anything wrong. And so that was a theme I wanted to. We're gonna. Okay, I'll just. I said before the interview started recording that I was a little under the weather. So normally I wouldn't say this, but I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Is I was really thinking of and I mean how not that I could even touch this, but like a conflict like the one in the Israel and Palestine. Is that there are the people who are perceived as good and the people who are perceived as bad, and it's not necessarily, it's still people, and everybody thinks they're doing the right thing, no matter which side you're on. You always think you're the one who's doing the right thing. Nobody sits there and goes, I'm in the wrong here. Even if maybe objectively someone might be viewed as evil, to them they're not. So,
Right.
Okay, yeah, that's evil, whatever. But okay, well let's work with that, and let's add that to the story. That there's this real conflict out in the world that everybody thinks both sides of something think they're right, and there's this intense war about it. And that's what this movie was about. The series was about having epilepsy, which that's what that's built into, which was the reason she had this evil power. I didn't realize until after I wrote it, but it was really about what was the experience of having epilepsy. You suddenly have this ability, but it's not an ability that you necessarily want or ask for. So her journey through the series is her reconciling with that and folding it into her life and accepting it as a part of who she is, which is pretty much what I had to do with my epilepsy. And so, I mean, that just completely fits with epilepsy. But this one, the message was good and evil, and okay, you can have something that's subjectively evil, but still, how does it feel for those people?
Right. And I love that, because we've talked about a couple times in the last few episodes about the evil person, the bad guy, the antagonist. For them to be effective, they absolutely have to believe that they're in the right. That's number one. Because we've seen some films where it's sort of like Dr. Evil, I'm just bad to be bad.
In Austin Powers.
Yeah.
But we've also because we did talk about that a bit, was the if you're standing on this side of the fence, this is how things look. But if you stand on the other side of the fence, it's looking exactly the same. So who is on what side? And we thought that was done very well. So, well, from Zara's perspective, this is how he sees things have to go. And especially we immediately get the sense that the world that they're from is not the coolest, paradise planet or dimension that there is.
Right.
A lot of crap has gone on.
Yeah.
A lot of bad crap. So everyone's going to have a different perspective on how do we best live our lives, to live our best lives. But I did like that, because you could, especially with Jenna, this is what's going on. And more than anything, it wasn't that my ideology is what's keeping me going. It's, that's my partner there that you've brainwashed and did this thing, and now shit's going south. And, you know what? You're not looking like the answer anymore, because this is not how it's supposed to go. And I'm going to lose this very important person because of your ridiculous notions,
Yeah.
But that's what kind of made it fun.
Yeah.
Going back and forth.
Thank you. Thank
So-
you. I think to make even a comedy or something kind of just fantastical like this, I think what people need to realize is that it has to be grounded in something very dark and sinister. Like take
Mhm.
movies like Never Ending Story.
Mm-hmm.
That's dark. Labyrinth, that's disturbing.
Super dark.
Wizard of Oz is disturbing.
Yeah.
You know, Wizard of Oz, that's a disturbing film that children shouldn't see. And it's made for children. And I think it's because when you really shouldn't be watching that.
I know.
They're pulling the guy apart. I mean, they're dismembering him while he's alive. It's horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, the scarecrow, well, maybe they did it to the Tin Man too. I don't know. Anyway, they're dismembering them while they're alive, and this is a kids movie, and you know, people are getting squashed, and yeah, it's a scary movie. So I think there has to be this. I think with especially these lighter things like comedy and fantasy and kids kind of movies, they really, so that they don't seem ridiculous, they have to come from a really dark place.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. And just real quick about the Wizard of Oz. When we watched it with our daughter for her first time, she was, you know, really young, and everything just glazed over. It was just all this stuff happening, and you know, songs and pretty colors. But then my favorite moment was when she had reached the age where I could say, "So let's talk Wizard of Oz. What do you think about that wizard? He's a murderer. he's a pathological maniac. He just sent this teenage girl and her friends to sure death so that he didn't have to deal with them."
Yeah.
She's like,
yeah,
he is an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would they do that? So we coming to the end here because we know you're feeling blah.
Oh, this has made me feel so much better. You like stuff. I'm like, yes, this is the remedy.
We would just like to hear, because last time we talked, you know, the hiatus, the quarantine, all that stuff had really just started.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
So now we're here, and you know what? I mean, what have you been up to? What do you want to get up to? Kind of thing. Anything? Or just taking it easy?
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, I'm someone who, you know, I don't know if I mentioned at the time, was like really not looking for. I didn't have an optimistic outlook, and my outlook hasn't improved. I think if anything, it's gotten worse. I know that things are going back into production. I don't think that's going to work out very well. So
I agree.
It's not going to work at all.
We've seen a few instances where it hasn't.
So oh yeah. Well, I mean, didn't Robert Pattinson catch it while he was Batman?
Yeah.
Did that happen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I had put it at 2 to 3 years. Now I'm putting it around 4 to 5. I think before anything could start happening again. Because what people don't understand is that when you're making a movie, you just have to be. It has to be like the Rose Garden Massacre.
Yeah.
That's what making a film is the Rose Garden Massacre. If you've seen the footage of it, I mean, that you're on top of each other like that. You can't not make a movie that way. And that's just how it has to be. So we have to get to a point in this virus where people can be that close to each other without a mask on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long it's going to take, or even if it's going to happen, but it'll be a while.
It will.
As people say, oh, there's going to be a vaccine. First off, I don't know if that's even possible, but let's just say it is. Even if there's a vaccine, it's still
I know.
That's 2 years out. If that does happen, and that doesn't make it go away. It's not like everybody gets it. The next day, everything's fine. That's just the beginning of a larger process. I feel like I have these two roles right now, and one is filmmaker. The other one is being the only scientifically literate person that someone knows.
Yeah.
So I feel what I didn't realize is that most people don't have the privilege of having like even a basic scientific education, and so they become these like Facebook experts and stuff, and you know they go, oh well, 99.5% of people will survive this, and that sounds really good, but then when you say 1 in 200 people die, they go, uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't connect. They don't connect with what's happening, and they don't understand it. And I think it's just very easy. It's just very easy just to not understand what's going on here, or the severity of the situation. I think you know, we've just been really lucky in that most stuff does resolve itself pretty quickly. And this is a situation where that's not going to happen. It might happen, but it's not going to happen for a long time. And so the movie business is just, I mean, it's dead. It's dead. I don't know why anybody's still clinging to it. I think animation is going to be great.
Oh yeah.
Great time for animation. Great time for music. I don't do either one of those things, but on the other hand, I think it's going to be a good time to re-edit stuff, put new stuff together, like Dagger Kiss came out, during quarantine. So maybe there's stuff that I'm sure people are sitting on a lot of stuff, like these Billy Crudup movies. They might start to come out all of a sudden.
All these ones sitting on the cutting room floor.
Yes. All of his movies will probably start coming out because there's just going to be nothing.
We had talked before with in another episode about something, the whole pandemic thing. And we're already starting to see new films. These haven't been sitting around and they just pulled them out of the basement for content. And coincidentally, it's pandemic. But we're seeing them starting to steer towards, which we think people will rapidly get sick of. But, that's Hollywood. Like, what's trending? Let's jump on it, even though it's ridiculous and no one wants to hear it. But I always thought animation, voiceover type stuff can be, most of these people do it from their home anyway.
Yeah,
there's a lot of voice actors who are all set up.
Audio dramas are wonderful, like the old radio show type stuff, and just generally telling a story in a dramatic way via simply audio media.
But we've had in the past couple of years some social media based film where you're watching the actors like you're behind the computer screen. It's with all the chat overlays and stuff. Yeah. I think. Because I think there's some credit to that. When you do it as a horror film, it loses me, and that's what they've kind of all been doing. But I think it would be interesting. A lot of everyday scenarios have had to move to this, video online thing. And I would like to see like a thriller or a suspense. And I think they could do that brilliantly, especially if, you have money. Yeah. You can send a camera and a box of equipment to somebody. Yeah. And, quick Zoom meeting with a camera tech and say, this is how you set it up. All right.
Right.
Go. Right. And edit that together. Again, editing can make this beautiful.
That would be editing. Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's going to jump on it because, man, they're pushing those tentpole films hard.
No.
Oh, I know.
And then they keep pushing them back because the theater's having to keep closed. It's like, well.
Oh, yeah.
Just put the brakes on. Take a breath. Have a picnic and then come back to it. But no, they can't do it.
Yeah.
Hollywood machine.
No. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a business of
Antebellum. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, Antebellum, I think, is the number one movie in the country right now, and that never saw a movie theater.
Right.
So, hey, because I definitely paid $20 to see it. Are you kidding me? Yeah. I paid $20 the night it came out. Yes, I'm gonna see Antebellum, and it probably has had a bigger resonance on the culture because that's been the only option people had, and it's this fantastic movie that probably may not have been seen by as many people. Instead, everybody's talking about it, which is great because it's such a fantastic film. And so I think good things like that, not a good thing. It'd be better if everything just stay normal and then come out in a movie theater. But I think you've got to look at the good, and the good is that a movie like Antebellum gets the attention that it deserves.
Yes. Like film festivals, all going digital.
Yeah.
Now you've got thousands of people from across the world seeing your independent film rather than the 175 who could fit in the theater.
Yeah.
In town.
That's a good point. Yeah.
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 I think, I've been accused of being an optimist, but I think that this is a business of creatives. And if we of all people can't find creative ways to move forward with all this going on, then, then there's something probably wrong. I think we'll figure out something creative, some kind of problem solution.
Oh.
Right. I hope so. I certainly hope so.
Yeah.
I think we will.
I think so.
We will. but more, we're just sitting back. I mean, this is what we do. And, trying to sell a script to somebody who isn't making a movie because nobody's making movies. It's kind of
right. It's hard to do.
Yeah, it's making us
Right.
have to pivot our focus on something else for the time being, But part of it is we just kind of hang
I
out.
like
and,
that.
yeah, we're just waiting for we can't wait for Tucky's next thing. We can't wait for David's next thing. We can't wait for Ryan's next thing.
Right.
When the gates open and everything is safe and you can finally boom. I actually kind of think it's good because I think as an audience, just in general, I think we've been spoiled with the amount of stuff available. In the last 10 years, it's
That's
exponentially
true.
increased because of
True.
video on demand and platforms and stuff. I think this is kind of a good, hey buddy, you need to take a quick look at how privileged you are in having access to all this stuff when there was a time only 1/3 of the population ever even knew what a movie was.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. So interesting times, interesting stuff to look forward to. So I'm so glad you guys. I can't wait to hear this review you did of my film. The last one, Girl Scene, was so good.
Well, tell Todd to send you the link.
That was
It's right there right now. Tell Todd to send you the Dropbox link I sent him.
fantastic. I can't wait to hear it. That's gonna be good. I think my big fear with this movie was that it was so low budget that people were just gonna write it off as soon as they saw it visually. So just the reaction's gotten already, and then to know that you guys talked about it, hey, it means the world. And bless you for what you said about my monologue at the end. That meant a lot. That means a lot to me that it connected with you in that way.
It did. And you earned it.
Yeah.
For all of this.
Oh,
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, I think we
Thank
can
you so much.
let you convalesce and feel better. I hope that you feel better.
Thank you. You've really cheered me up. So that's the best medicine.
Oh, good.
Well, good.
So, watch Dagger Kiss Enchanted Forest on Amazon Prime, and also the series, and also all of Tucky's other stuff.
Yep. A lot of it's up there.
Right.
Go look for it. We will have links as usual in the show notes, folks.
Is there anything in particular that you want to plug, Tucky?
Oh, you did it all, my work for me. Thank you.
Awesome.
There you go.
Go to Amazon, type in Tucky Williams or daggerkiss.com. It's all there.
Awesome.
All right, B-siders. This has been us talking with the great Tucky Williams again. Thanks for coming back on the show, and we hope we can do some more because this is always just so much fun.
Yeah.
And listeners, take this stuff to heart. Apply it to your craft, your creativity. Look for the inspiration in all this, and go, go, go.
Wear a mask. Stay healthy.
Yep. We're not out of it yet. So thank you, Tucky. And we're going to say goodbye.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much.
So that was Tucky Williams.
Yep.
Super, super nice person.
Just an absolutely amazing person.
Yeah.
I mean, oh man. If we only had 7.6 billion more
right
of her, right? We wouldn't be living in angst and misery and
I know. I'm just
stuff. Anyway,
this world. It's so good that there are people like her that are bright spots in this messed up world.
And I love talking to her because it's she's so straightforward.
Yes.
About, like the thing with Daniel, the wizard in training. That's going to be a show one day. She's going to wake up and be like, yes.
Well, I hope she tells him about it. And, if nothing else, he's like, well, fine.
Oh, yeah.
I'll start my own We'll watch it.
Well, and like we said in the Dagger Kiss Enchanted Forest episode, listeners, Daniel, right? Cult following. Let's get this going so that in a few months we can get some momentum and see if we can make something of this.
Daniel fan club.
But just the fact that, oh, I'm glad you liked him because the other guy quit, ran off and did a TV show.
Right.
So, and but I just love her. I mean, I know it's frustrating. I mean, I know she's not taking it on like, oh, just a small problem, because this is the kind of thing that can make or break.
Well, yeah.
Right. Even the smallest part can just throw everything so out of whack. What if you can't find somebody? There's a lot of stress, but she seems to just roll, lumps and all, just roll with it. And I love that. And I love hearing these little bits. And we heard some, last time about, oh, well, this could happen. And, it's wonderful. And it's encouraging.
Well, I also want to say major props to her because I know that she wasn't feeling well, but she powered through and talked to us for more than what, initially.
Well, yeah, because
she'd be able to.
We tried to segue into it a little bit. Oh, this feels good. It makes me feel better.
Cool.
But yeah, again, super sweet woman, feeling terrible, and still kept the appointment. Yeah, as it were. That's just excellent. But and really, she is just a perfect example of. We talked before about emulating people, right? And it doesn't always mean emulate their work.
No, it there are very few people who, take our daughter, for example. There are very few people in the world who we look at and think, this person is a really good role model. Lily, should know about this person. Yeah. And Tucky's one of those people. Yeah. Which is wonderful.
Her work is great, but when you want, in the emulation aspect, it's emulate more than just what they do. Their work ethic is and that's like a business thing. That's the number one thing in every business course that you could ever find out there. And it's in all of the, the top 10 most successful people's best practices kind of thing. And it really is, it's find someone that you can appreciate, that you can respect in terms of what they do. Like, a lot of people focus on Bill Gates. The guy hardly ever sleeps. He's always got his face in a book, ever since he left Microsoft, especially. And, the truth behind it is he's a monster at getting stuff done.
Yeah.
He thinks of just like shit that no one, he'll pour through books and news articles and stuff, and he'll all of a sudden pluck something. Be like, why isn't anybody doing something about this? Bam, we know what Bill's doing for the next 18 months.
Right.
He goes through, I don't know how many, I can't remember, because I watched the documentary, how many books a day. But his assistant, her primary focus, in addition to everything else, she's like, but the one thing you always have to stay on top of is make sure he has his bags of books when he travels. Because the last thing you want is Bill Gates wandering around without a book.
Right.
and it's incredible. So, emulating, if that's the kind of thing that you're like, oh yeah, I want to, do that, especially if you like reading books and learning about stuff, then you do those practices. You listen to these people talk about, like Tucky and, even just everybody we've talked to, really. Yeah. They all have different ways of doing things, but they're doing the same thing and they're making films.
Exactly.
Or series, or shorts, or all of the above. Mm-hmm. Right. So, you listen to these folks and you find just someone that you identify with. And, we don't have, like, we didn't talk about, what she does first thing she wakes up and, gets ready for the day and production stuff. But you can listen to her and see how she approaches things. You can see what she thinks about when things happen. You can hear it.
Yeah.
And, a lot of that is a really good way to put your mindset into things, Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just try and pick something out and run with it. And I tell you what, there's worse things in the world than if someone asks, well, what was your inspiration to do this? Well, Tucky Williams. I mean,
Yeah.
That's going to get you something.
Yeah. And no matter who you are and who you know, if you're, struggling to follow your passion, find someone who is following theirs, even if it's not the same as yours.
Right.
And, what do they do? How do they keep themselves fired up?
Right.
And just sort of, emulate them.
Exactly. And one of the things that she had mentioned that I think is good for everyone to consider is so she got a grant to help her finance Dagger Kiss Enchanted Forest. And, most filmmakers know that stuff is out there, but it all seems so unattainable, so far away.
Yeah, because you look at them and you're like, well, I'm going to be one of, how many applicants to this.
And some of them, you need business plans.
Right.
A full-on business plan, like you're starting a business, even though you're just trying to shoot a film.
Yeah.
But she didn't go to a filmmaking source. There's a lot of places out there that offer grants for filmmaking and stuff. She went to a source that is all about the social message.
Yes.
I want to make this film because this is the film I needed to see when I was a girl.
Yeah.
Sold. There are places who, if your project, and that's the thing too, when you're deciding on your project, what do you want to do? A lot of people we've seen try to send messages through their films. And one we just watched recently from 1963 missed the mark so bad.
Not even really sure what their message was supposed to be.
Folks, we took on Lady in a Cage.
And
it has Olivia de Havilland in it.
Yeah.
And we're not making fun of that. It actually
that was in the trailer.
That was in the trailer.
And Olivia de Havilland is in it.
Yeah. Not starring. It's just, and Olivia de Havilland is in it. It was terrible.
It was terrible for a number of reasons.
But it's one of those things where I said, I'm sorry I wasn't born in the 50s and grew up in the 60s because I can't understand what this fucking director is what message he's trying to get through.
Yeah. Whatever message it was didn't age well, if ever it was clear.
But Cinephiles, it's worth a watch if you want to see James Caan's first big screen appearance.
Yes.
First starring role. He's in it 80% because there's like 20% just random bullshit. Yep, young Jimmy Caan.
Hey.
It's worth it for that. And Olivia de Havilland was still a good actress. This just was a terrible story because she was making movies up until through the 80s, 90s. She died like 102, I think. She was really old.
Just a lady in a cage.
Yeah. Anyway, circling back.
Yes.
If you have a message that you want to get out, look for groups that support that message and see if they can help you out with some financing. The great thing about, I think the single most important thing about film, and I think I've said this before, is the story has to have a message. And that's what you want to get out. Why do you want to tell this story?
Yeah.
Whatever it is. I mean,
and that's what everyone is going to ask you.
Yeah. And if it's a horror movie, right? You can, don't try to bullshit people. They say fake it till you make it. I think that's the dumbest thing because that always comes back around and I don't think that's worked for anybody actually.
Right.
But say you're making a horror film, there's not a lot of messages.
I mean, some of them have it, but for the most part, they're, fun.
Well, yeah, they're fun, so don't try to make it into like some sort of rights thing or, coming of age thing. Just say, I'm making a horror film and it's based, it's sort of like, compare it, do the comps, compare it to something else and say, I'm putting my twist on it, or instead I'm doing this and I'm trying to show this. And, if we had a bank account and we were doling money out to people for this, one thing that would catch my ears is, well, I'm making a horror movie where it's a bunch of co-eds. They go into the woods, and it's before their graduating thing. It's like spring break, and there's a slasher and stuff. But the thing is, nobody's going to be wearing high heels. All right, you've got my attention. How many horror movies do women have high heels running through the woods? All right, so that just tells me right there, you've thought about something. Right?
True.
So I want to hear more. And then you just got to keep, putting it out there. I think we need a lot more indie films on social messaging and growing up, and just not direct. I think it has to be, what's your movie about? Well, it's about an 11-year-old girl who's, doing all this. Okay. I'd be more interested in a story that,
right. So what's your movie about?
Is motivated by.
Right. So instead of that, it's about an 11-year-old girl who does this and this and this. You say it's about a young girl who is trying to find her way. And she's presented with these obstacles. And at the end, she needs to make a choice in order to determine who she really is. Or,
that's almost, I get what you're going, but that's still kind of on point. I'll use Baking in Chaos as an example. Okay. Right. So it's about a 12-year-old girl who's going for her goal. Right. She's going for her goal, but real life starts to interfere. Everyone's like, oh, go for your goal. But now she has to deal with, when you do something like that, the stress on friendships, relationships, trying to figure how to, because at that age, you got to figure out how to make that all work. And then you add to it, well, I'm going to do this thing that could change my life. Right. But that means I have to shut all that other stuff out. But this thing is going to be here, and then it won't take place till way down the road. And in the meantime, I need these people in my life.
Right.
So how do you not crap on them and ruin that? That's the kind of thing, it's still kind of direct, but it's part of the story, not the story, where she's just like brooding, do I play games tonight or no? Just because, but that's like, a girl scene, right? Homage.
Yeah.
Pay homage to, some of these great, so 80s movies, and it sold. Yeah. So get what you want going in your head, get it together, get it focused. We talked about the art of the pitch. Figure out how to sell it in like 50 words or less, less than 30 seconds.
Get your log line down.
Yep.
Get your elevator pitch down.
Yep. And then reach out to people.
Yeah.
Because again, if anyone in this business is worried about people telling them no, A, they've bailed a long time ago. Or B, they just got in and they won't be here for very long.
Right.
Right. You have to focus on C. That's just how it is. For every project I do, I'm going to get 100 or 500 or 1,000 no's. But I'm not going to go till I get my next, or not going to stop till I get my next yes.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
You just got to deal with it. But you'll find someone who's like, I like that. Yeah. We have some money that qualifies. Here, fill out the paperwork and there you go. And then the next thing you want to do is make sure you find someone who knows how to do a budget or you get real good at it yourself, because you're going to want to watch that money closely, especially its little amounts. Make it go as far as you can.
Yes. So I think with that, what we will take as the big lesson from our talk with Tucky is, don't let the world stop you.
No. No.
I think the world needs a whole bunch more Tucky Williamses in it.
Mhm.
And, just to be someone that other people can emulate.
Yes.
Don't let the world stop you. Don't let it get on top of you.
Well, and as you're looking to find someone to emulate yourself, to kind of build up your foundation, I just want to say one thing about Tucky, and we talked about this last time, is the whole thing of surrounding. We talked about it in many episodes, but we talked about it with her specifically about she surrounded herself with people who empowered her, right? And it's not people who kiss your ass and say, oh, yeah, that's great, just to kind of make you feel good. They empowered her. These are people who challenge you, but with your best interests.
Right.
Right. When a line is bad or something that your project is, something about it is wonky, they'll be like, now, wait a minute. And instead of just telling you it's shit and walking away, they'll be like, so, how about this? Or it needs something. What can we, and that's the thing you listen for,
Well, and then you as a person, when someone does that and they have your best interest at heart, you have to set aside your ego.
Find good people, people to emulate, people to support you, people to network with,
people to challenge you and make you better.
Absolutely. And people that you decide, I'm going to emulate this property of them, reach out to them. Why not? You have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. Some of the interviews that we got are strictly because I'm like, I'm going to find an email. Might take me an hour, 2 hours. Sometimes it's taking me just a couple minutes. I sent an email and then I don't sweat it. And a couple of days later, bing. Yeah, I'd love to be on your show.
Cool.
So be a good person, be the Tucky in other people's lives.
Yeah. That
you're surrounding yourself with, be kind, be generous, and it'll come back to you.
Yes.
Also watch good stuff. Like,
watch movies and take notes.
Yeah. Watch movies, take notes. Watch Dagger Kiss the series, which is also on
Amazon Prime.
Yeah. It's on, Prime Video, or just Amazon Video. But because Dagger Kiss we had to rent. So it's not on Amazon Prime.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
It's on Amazon Video, but it's not included in Prime.
Sure.
Which is fine.
Yeah. Rent Dagger Kiss Enchanted Forest and support Tucky.
Yeah. Pay the $4, people. Come on. Do it.
Or buy it.
And you know what? Because that means when all this madness is done, she's going to make more stuff, and we're going to be able to talk to her about that stuff down the road, and you're going to get to listen to it.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a huge win for us and you.
Yes.
So.
All right. With that, go check out our website. It's www.lordsofmisruleproductions.com.
Yes, it is.
All right, I'll go with it.
No,
it's fine. It's fine. No.
I'm going.
Hush.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
On there,
are links to our podcast, subscription links, links to our social media,
link to our
Patreon page, where if you become a patron, you get access to episodes a week or more early. Benefits are all listed there. 1 tier, so nobody misses out. Once we meet some goals, we're going to get some goodies, merchandise.
I want to just get merch now.
Well, I thought about putting it up, but we'll wait. Reach the goals, and then everybody gets stuff. That's the thing. We're not talking discounts. We'll roll stuff out once we hit those goals. Each month we can pop out stuff, and as a patron, you get to help figure out what it's going to be. What would you like? You want a silly little foam cup holder with a logo on it? We can do that. You want something way cooler, like, actual apparel, t-shirts, hats, quality mugs, socks. A lot of people are into themed socks.
Pins.
Yeah. Whatever. Right.
Buttons.
Yeah. We'll get it figured out. Patrons get to pick.
Yeah.
We'll make it happen.
Yep.
And then you get it.
Patrons also get to weigh in on, what we watch.
Yep. And, once we hit the goals, 1 patron a month will get to be a guest on the show. to talk about whatever it is we're talking about.
Yeah.
Either from a creative aspect or just a fan.
Yeah.
You know, not all of our listeners are creatives, surprisingly. You know,
Hey, that's fine.
we picked a tiny niche.
I can see listening to this and just kind of, not necessarily being a filmmaker, but just kind of wanting to hear kind of the other side. You know what I mean?
And that might be it. You know, I'm not complaining. It just was a little bit of a surprise. You know. But anyway, also on Amazon Music. We keep pushing that because it's new that they've added podcasts. Mm-hmm. We are there.
We are on all the major podcast platforms.
Yeah,
all the biggies.
It just got to be too. If you can't listen to it through the website or RSS or any of those platforms that we are on, I don't know where you live if you don't have access with all of that. So it's pretty simple. I mean, with the RSS, you can find us everywhere else.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, listen, rate, review. Rate more than anything.
Yeah.
We need these ratings.
Give us a star rating.
Yep. You know how it
5,
goes.
maybe. That'd be cool.
Yeah. It's getting up there. If you'd love to leave a review, or if you would leave a review, we would love to see it. That would be fine. We also have email links. You can reach out to us about the show. You can reach out to us about other things. It's 2 different emails, one for podcast, one for info.
Yeah.
And you can let us know what you're thinking about.
And we respond to it as actual people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you got stuff going on and you want us to see it or talk about it, or you want to come on and talk about it, let us know. We're happy to do it.
Absolutely.
Also, Punch It Through. Disc Dump Podcast.
Oh, yeah. Check out our buddy Miles.
Yeah. This will still be October when this comes out. So he's hitting it hard.
We got to watch that last Masters of Horror.
I know.
With Norman Reedus.
Yeah. But yeah, check out his podcast. He's going through the whole Masters of Horror series in October, and Miles is just really cool. We've done 2 episodes with him on his show, and he's just a lot of fun. He gets some other people on there and just goes on about stuff, and it's a lot of fun. So give him a go. After that, just do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Make your stuff, work on your stuff, reach out to people, collaborate with stuff,
Go check out Stage 32. They've got a lot of stuff going on right now. I get emails all the time about their webinars and whatnot.
Yeah, Stage 32 is exploding with a lot of stuff because everyone's at home. Yeah. I mean, we just saw major motion pictures are getting put back a year or more, maybe a little less.
But they're still doing pitches. They're still looking for creative content. They're still plotting out their stuff.
The already slow boat has gotten much slower. I guess before we leave, just remember that, folks. This is still going on, yes, but all things come to an end. And when that end comes, they're going to want to hit the ground running. A lot of bad things are happening in entertainment industry in terms of theater chains shutting down and stuff. But don't let that, it's everything we've talked about. Don't let it shut you down. Keep going, because they're going to want stuff one day, have that stuff. And if you're not looking to sell it, if you're not looking to sell it, create. Do your thing, or get everything together you possibly can, and then wait for that moment when you can pull the trigger on it, and then do a second one, do a third one, have like 5 projects ready to go. I want to do this one first, and then this one when I can. Use your time. Flex those creative muscles. Build them up.
All right, B-siders.
Yeah.
That's it for us for today. We will catch you next week.
We certainly will.
With some more cool stuff.
Actually, next week, another long-awaited goodie.
I know. I'm really excited.
Okay.
All right.
B-siders. This is Jim.
And this is Danny.
And we will talk to you in a week.
Bye.